Okay, this tutorial is about stacking. This is all about a card game, pretty much, and you could probably use it for an inventory as well. A start of the inventory. And let's talk about like DS stacking here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So play this out. So you have these cards that pop up on screen. You can drag them, you pick them up, and you can put them back down. Put them in here in the deck, and they change to the back. And then you can drag them back out, and then they're pretty much in the same pattern as when you put them down. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, so you only have one, you pretty much put one card down here. And it's at random, because I think when you play it, it's different. That's kind of the same. Alright, so anyways, so in the object deck, which is this outline right here, went to add event, grabbed over a coded sheet, and it basically says that you want to create your stack. So you keep the image index at 0, equals to 0, this image speed is 0, and then say deck, it's called DS stack underscore create, open parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon. And inside the deck, you have, goes through the animated process here. You have the actual outline of the card. That's where when you place it down. Then you have a single card, 2 cards, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I put this at centered, X and Y origin. So basically it's stating that the image index and the image speed is going to be at 0, so that means it's not going to animate. If you put a number here, then it's going to animate, and that's not what you want to happen. You want to make sure that the image index and image speed is 0, and it's going to be on the image 0, which is going to be this image right here. This is where you wanted it at when you first start the game. You want to add image 0 because that's what it is, image 0. Image 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, and 6 is all not there yet until you place the card down on the outlined image. So I want to keep it at 0, image 0. So that's why you want to lock it down at speed at 0, index 0. That way it won't animate, it stays on the outlined square. Then you create your DS stack, you create that. So that's basically starting your inventory right there. When you start placing the cards down on the outline, it's making your inventory bigger and bigger and bigger until you have the last card, which is 6, in there, and you'll be able to drag them back out one by one in the order it came, or you put them down at. Alright, then you grab a step event. So like I said, I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but this is the code for the create image underscore index 0, image speed equals 0, and then the deck is called equals to DS stack create. And this is graded out because I don't have object in front of it, so but that's the code within Game Maker. That's what it's called pretty much. Alright, so then add a step, and you drag over code again, and then you control the deck images. Var desk underscore size equals DS underscore stack underscore size, parentheses, deck, in parentheses, semicolon. So this basically, you're starting your deck size. You're starting to drop down the cards on the outlined square. That's what it's representing, and you have a total of 6. Index underscore image underscore index equals the minimum, which is 6. You have 6 cards. Comma deck equals size. In parentheses and then semicolon. So you have 6 cards, so the minimum is going to be 6. That's what you put there for that to work. Then you control it by the mouse click, the left mouse click in that event, drag over a coded sheet, and then you want to remove the cards from the deck. So now you're basically picking them out of the outlined square. When you're drawing them out of the outlined square back onto the table again. So if ds stack underscore size deck is less than 0, then it's going to grab the top card, which is basically whatever card you put down, and you drag it back out. Then you instance underscore create, you instance create that object card, which is this card right here. Var card underscore sprint equals the ds stack pop. Pop meaning that you're grabbing it out the deck. Top underscore card sprint underscore index card underscore sprint, and global card equals top underscore card and global. So basically global means that you click anywhere. You can click anywhere in the game to grab the card. It's not it's allowing you to click on any of the cards within the game when you're using global card. And the depth for the card is at -1, so it allows you to place it. It should allow you to place it in front of the card that you have laying down, but somehow it doesn't seem to work that way. It pretty much places the card behind the card that was laying down. I'm not sure why. It should place it in front and on top of it, but it doesn't for some reason. But just keep the depth that equals at -1, and then semicolon. Then you want to have the end bracket there. So you're removing the card from the deck. That's what you're doing. Alright, so then you have this object drag controller, which is this question mark here. This allows you to pick up the card. So grab a crate, then a coded sheet, and then initialize the drag controller. So you're grabbing the card, the global.card equals no one. So you have nothing at the moment when you move your mouse, and then you click on the card, and then you have a card to pick up. So when you first start the game, you have no one, meaning you just have the mouse cursor when it first initializes. Then you have an end step from the add event, grab over a coded sheet, and whoop, that's not that, it's this right here. So you move the card, you're starting to move the card over. Either you drop it onto the table, or you drop it into the container, which is the outlined square of the card, which then rotates the card from seeing the image of the color to being the back of the card. So the if global dot card, then exclamation mark, then equals no one with global dot card, x equals mouse x. So this is basically kind of controlling the card where you place your card at. When you pick up the card, the mouse cursor is going to be in the middle of the card because the origin of the card is in the middle. So you're pretty much controlling it from this location right here when you pick up the card with your mouse cursor. That's what it's basically saying. If you don't have an origin on here, you'll be picking it up over here in the corner. So you're picking it up in the middle when you pick up the card. Pretty much that's what the crosshairs are representing. That's what the code's talking about, where you pick up the card at when you pick it up from the table and drag it over, either on the table or on the object deck, which is the outlined square. So then you go do a left press event, and you're picking up the card and equals ID. The ID represents, it could be several images. You have like 6 images that it can pick up. So the depth's going to be at -1. So the ID represents any of the cards that you pick up. So it could be image 0, image 1, image 2, image 3, and all those have different colors and different shapes that it represents. Then you release it, and if position meets mouse X and Y, then this object deck card that you release, you drop it down. So now you're dropping the card onto the table or on the object deck. And then you're pushing the deck, global.card sprint_index. And then it will also, it's pretty much going to destroy the card, the global. So when you place the colored card onto the object deck, it's kind of destroying the card, but at the same time rotating it on its back. And the depth is at 0. And then the object card, this, what I was talking about before, it just has 1 image, but there's actually several images here. It goes by, so this image is 0. That's image 0 too. That's weird. So basically on the object card, this, when you first start the game, this is pretty much choosing what colors are which. So it's kind of doing a random choice. So you're putting down 6 of the object cards, which is that red circle thing, but when the game initializes, it's going to do a random color choice, whether it be the red, the green, or the blue square. So every time you initialize the game, it's going to do a random choice color for the cards. So it's not going to be the same card every time in that position, that location. That's what is happening here. It's doing a random pick. And then left pressed, and this is doing the global card equals ID, which is, it depends on what the card is. It could be the blue square, it could be the circle, the red circle, or the green square. It just depends. That's what that ID represents there. And the left release, so it's the same information. It's basically dropping the card back down again. And I'll put a link in the description on more of an explanation on how this was done, performed. I understand a little bit of how this works, but not exactly. This person I pretty much got the video from by watching. I understood what he said, but I will give you the GMX file for this, so that way you can play around with it and change it up to how you want it to look. But like I said, it's allowing you to, basically what it's doing is it's changing the face of the card to a random choice, which is doing here. It's doing a random choice of the colors of the cards, and then it's allowing you to pick it up, allowing you to drop it down when you let go of the mouse, and it's allowing you to put it in the object deck, and then it's pretty much destroying the card, but it's rotating at the same time the card, and it's allowing you to pick it back out of the object deck, allowing you to put each card down as it animates, rotates it until you have 6 cards laying down. Then you're able to pick it back out in the order that you dropped it down. That's pretty much what it's doing. Alright, thanks for watching.